Before we begin today's video, I would like to make a few things completely clear. Spoilers suck. A lot. Which is why I'm full-on warning you that the following content that will be discussed is 100% spoiler-filled and completely opinionated. Do not watch this if you haven't seen the latest episodes. If you're not a Rooster Teeth First member, you should still be able to view the episode as a free non-first member. And the latest episodes will be ready for you, non-first members, on the following Tuesdays, or depending on when your availability is. Okay? So let me fully explain on the whole scheduling regarding RWBY. October 14th was the date where Rooster Teeth First members will be able to watch the premiere of RWBY Volume 5. It won't be available for anyone else except for Rooster Teeth First members. 3 days later, the episode will be available for non-first members. Those are the people that are able to go onto roosterteeth.com and sign up using their email and password. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to provide your credit card information or whatever. Just your email and password. That's all you need to do. And the latest episodes will be available for these people 3 to 4 days after they're available for first members only. Then, the following Saturday, YouTube and Crunchyroll will be able to obtain the episode and everybody can watch it, basically. Okay? So Saturdays, every Saturdays, there will be a brand new episode that will be exclusive to Rooster Teeth First members, but the previous week's episode will be available for everybody else. If you are not cool with that long week wait, just get a non-first account. That's all you gotta do. And the episode will be available 3 to 4 days after they're available for first members only. Okay? I hope you got that. Please. If I see any complaints in the comments section regarding spoilers, I won't do anything. But you should be the one to be at fault for not listening to the warning that you're receiving right now. Also, if you disagree with our statements and have a different opinion, that is okay. Just let me know in the comments below on what you thought about the material we were discussing, and if it's totally different than ours, then we'll 100% accept it. I will accept it completely. But don't insult those who have a different opinion than you. We all have different opinions. That's the point of criticism anyway. That's the point of life. We're all different, so let's try not to start a flame war over differing opinions, okay? So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the video. What's up, everybody? My name is Raj Shetta, and welcome to another Crimson Artist YouTube video. And today is the second episode of my RWBY Volume 5 review series. Today we're going to be covering chapters 3 and 4. If you haven't seen my thoughts on the first 2 episodes, it will be on my channel, or the link will be in the description below. But with that said, I want to make a few things clear. As you can see, it's just me. See, right here, there's nobody here. It's just me. Steve is not here today. It's just going to be me. And I feel lonely. I feel lonely. Mirror me. So, seeing as how I'm all by myself, I decided to jot down the notes right here. And that will help give you my 2 cents on the latest 2 episodes of this particular volume. Here we go. So chapters 3 is Unforeseen Complications, and chapter 4, Lighting the Fire. I can't wait to talk about that in that particular episode. But let's talk about the 3rd chapter. Now, the first aspect of this chapter we're going to be focusing on is Menagerie, particularly with Gira Belladonna's speech over what has happened with the White Fang and Adam Taurus, and how they're completely against his decisions, and to announce that Adam is planning to overthrow Sienna Khan as leader of the White Fang. Which is interesting because Khan is already dead at this point. So that means they're far behind. The CCTs are still down, clearly, and the effects of that still range all over the entire world of Remnant. That is insane, that they have no clue as to what is going on outside of this small island. That's incredible. the whole speech is amazing. I really love this speech, but I'm kind of like thinking, Gira, you're a high-profile target at this point, especially with your daughter back, who is a huge target for the White Fang. Like having a huge speech out in front of everybody, every faunus alike out there in broad daylight. I was really clenching my fists as to hoping that nothing bad happens to this family. Particularly Kali Belladonna, okay? She is pure. She is best mom. Got it? Okay, sorry for my overreaction, but but that's besides the point. This is one of the most intense openings for an episode because they're just leaving themselves open to die, basically. Thankfully, nobody dies. Thank you. Nobody dies. Ilya does have very solid points, as well as Gira has pretty solid points over the position of the White Fang and the Faunus' relationship with the humans. So, yeah, they both have very compelling arguments. It's a very good debate here, and I was just really tensed up during that moment. And apparently, Sun. I'm kind of shocked that nobody died, and I'm not surprised. I'm kind of also shocked that Sun kind of sucks at Assassin's Creed, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So we got that out of the way. That was pretty kind of quick. We cut to Team Ranger and Crow and Little Oscar / Ospen. This is by far one of the best scenes I've ever had in this particular season. At this point, of course, because we get to see Ospen's faults, and we get to see how Ospen points out the flaws that mostly Ruby and Jean have in terms of their overall skill level. Jean hasn't revealed his semblance, like, at all. I'm surprised they pointed this out right now, as opposed to last season. Looking back now, yeah. I mean, I already stated this during my RWBY announcement video, where I announced that I'm making this series, and that I was very critical on Volume 4. If you want to hear my thoughts, check that out. Like, link will be in the description below, or just like I said, follow my channel, pretty much. But Volume 4 is just really irrelevant at this point, because nothing aside from a few moments, particularly with Weiss, which we'll get to in a bit, nothing really happened to the characters in terms of evolution. We're finally getting that evolution. Finally, I've been waiting for that. From Rose, Ruby cannot fight for shit without her weapon. Jean needs to unlock his semblance. Ren and Nora, they're kind of okay. They just need some training. That's all, just to keep on practicing. But what I did find more interesting, other than Ospen pointing out their flaws and shit, is that how he stated this in Volume 1, that he makes more mistakes than any man, woman, and child. And that is blatantly true at this point. Because when we look at Ospen before he made that statement, before everything that has happened in Volume 3, we all thought to him as basically this show's version of Dumbledore. Someone that can make no mistake whatsoever, right? That's what the writers made us believe. I personally thought, okay, yeah, this is definitely a flawed character, and I'm glad they admitted it, thankfully, in the first volume. What is also interesting is how the world of Remnant, the history of Remnant, is just as complex, and I'm pretty sure that this season's World of Remnant, whenever they're going to post episodes of World of Remnant, I'm pretty sure it's going to be this particular Saturday. I'm not sure. But
Ospen and Salem have been at each other's throats for more than 1,000 years. This is their first battle. This, or second, or third, or fourth, or 10th. This is thousands of years. And that is mind-blowing, because we don't know who Ospen is. We don't know how old Ospen. We don't know what he is truly capable of. And the whole theory that he is the old man that gave the four maidens their powers, it seems very likely that he is the old man, reincarnated as Ospen, now as Oscar, which is really, really interesting. Another interesting tidbit that I love is that how overly smarter Ospen has become ever since he took over Oscar's mind, basically, the man with two souls. He clearly doesn't trust Leo anymore. He is now owning up to his mistakes, and which makes me think, did it really take you that long to finally owning up to your mistakes? I mean, Iron One basically stated your mistakes out loud in Volume 3. What happened, Oz? Were you, like, just so in the moment where things were actually kind of okay at that point? Like, you should be on your guard no matter if things are in good hands. No matter if things are in a peaceful state, you know what I mean? And the final aspect of this, of Chapter 3, is we see Weiss getting interrogated by Vernal. Yeah, that's her name, Vernal. Who it's no doubt that she's the Spring Maiden, because if you don't recall, in the first episode, that Crow reveals that Raven has the Spring Maiden under her mitts, and she's basically seen in the very intro. So yeah, she is the Spring Maiden. Weiss is a lantern, basically. She can summon. She summons a knight. The same knight that she killed in her white trailer back in Volume 1. It's the same knight, of course, but she's literally a Weiss lantern. Yeah. I love how more mature she has become. Literally. Not just internally, but also externally. Like, she has honed her skills to the point where she could change her knight's sizes from tiny desk knight to pretty much giant knight. So that's kind of cool. Okay, let's talk about probably the best episode of Volume 5 so far. Okay, that is Lighting the Fire. This is a Yang-centered episode. I know I'm not wearing a Yang t-shirt, and I know I stated that I'm a huge fan of the character, but I just had to find something anyway. I love this episode in almost every regard, from Yang's maturity. Like, we all know Yang to be the hot, bumbling chick with fiery attitude, right? But with the advice her father has given her in Volume 4, she took it to heart, clearly, and she doesn't give a fuck about anything at this point. She is just focused, she's determined, and it shows in her fight choreography. It's more smooth, balanced, and calculated now. Back then, when she fought, she was always, like as Ty said it, she always used her semblance given the moment, right? She always uses it in every fight. In this particular fight, she didn't even use it as much as she used to, which is really, really cool shit coming from her. Also, I like to point out that the sound effects are a lot more refined than before, because looking back, particularly in the last few volumes, we've seen her using her weapon. The shotgun sounds sounded exactly like they came from the Halo games, pretty much. You know, the shotgun, which sounds like this. But here, it sounds like a legitimate shotgun. Like, it sounds more authentic than the than the computer generated sounded shotguns that were used for the previous volume. So glad to see that the sound effects have greatly improved and refined. I was really shocked to hear, because when I saw this episode about 5 times, more so than chapter 3, honestly, because I love this episode, right? And I noticed how different the sounds were comparing it to previous seasons. So that's another plus. Good job, RWBY. You nailed the sound almost considerably. I love it. Now back to RWBY, which goes back to what was discussed in the 3rd episode, where Osborn is basically training them, getting them into fighting shape. And RWBY is clearly in need of a lot more training. She needs to get better. She sucks without her weapon, man. If you haven't seen the show, which you should, she is awful. She's a terrible fighter, and she's supposed to be the leader of Team RWBY, now Team Ranger, or whatever you want to fucking call it. But I'm very thankful for this particular scene, because we need moments like this. Moments where it shows that these characters are getting prepped up for something bigger, something grander. Them going on a journey, and then they just talk about shit, and then they fight a giant Knuckleavi. Didn't really do much. They just, and Renora had their moment, but we're finally getting something out of RWBY. Her training, which is super important for her character, as well as Jean. We didn't see much of Jean in this episode, though, but I love how they proved that he hasn't unlocked his semblance, and we're probably going to get that in this season. Let's keep hoping. But let's get on to the most important attribute of this particular episode. My favorite moment. Hold on. Okay. So, my favorite moment is pretty much the rest of this episode. Because ever since the Yang trailer, the yellow trailer from Volume 1, she has been looking for her mother for years. She's been wanting to know who she is, what she's like, and now they finally met. And everybody was thinking, why are you going to Raven? We thought you were going to RWBY. She was going for RWBY, but through Raven, because Tai Yang, that smart motherfucker, I love that guy, told exactly what Raven is like in terms of her semblance. That her opening portals is a semblance. Okay then. She has links to Tai Yang, and Crow. And because of that, she might be able to get back to RWBY. Right? That's what Yang was hoping for. She wasn't really there for her mother. She was there just to get to RWBY. Best sister ever. Which probably pisses Raven off so much, because she, as well as probably most of us, not like we're expecting that, oh, you finally found me. I bet you have a bunch of questions for me. Turns out, no, I don't give a fuck anymore. I just want to get to my sister. That is incredible. I love shit like that. Love how she just doesn't care about her mother at all, when she should have. But she doesn't. She just cares more about her younger sister. Oh, God. Okay. And, because of this moment, I just love how smarter she has become. she went to her mother not just to see her mother for the first time like ever officially, but she knew that her mother would be able to open up portals and go visit particular individuals. She knew. Kind of that's genius actually. And this could lead to some very interesting consequences, because earlier in the volume, Crow states that, like I said, the Spring Maiden is under Raven's wing, no pun intended. Um, and Yang is with Raven now, including Weiss, which, by the way, okay, I'm going to get back to the whole Weiss and Yang reunion in a bit, but, like, it's going to lead to some pretty intense and interesting consequences going down the road. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And Yang's mom kidnapped Weiss. She kidnapped her! That was kind of funny. So, Vernal, the Spring Maiden, has the ability to send lightning, I think? I would love to learn more about this particular individual. Hopefully it doesn't get bum rushed, you know what I mean? Like Amber was, but, you know. But the very ending of this episode makes me wonder, is the next episode, or the next few episodes, going to feature a flashback regarding Team Stark, aka Summer Rose, Tai Yang, Raven, and Crow? Are we going to see a flashback of how this team got disbanded? Because at the last few lines of this episode is that if you want to know more about Osmond, then you need to know the truth. The need to know the truth, which makes me believe that Raven is going to recount everything that has happened prior to, like, you know, from the start of trusting Osmond to the death of Summer and losing trust on Osmond. That's going to lead to some very, very interesting consequences. And this is like the whole flashback of Team Stark. I've been wanting that ever since Raven was even introduced. I want to know more about who came before Ruby, because according to Crow, Stark was the number one team in Beacon, the number one team in Vale, until something happened. We know that Summer died and Raven left everything and led her own bandit tribe. That's the only things we know. But what was the catalyst? What caused all of that? That is something that I'm personally excited for, and hopefully we're probably going to get that flashback episode. And the reunion. Oh my god. The reunion is so needed. Fuck yes. I'm not a freezer burn shipper. Personally, I don't care about ships anymore. But it was definitely a sweet moment. And what I love is Yang's reaction to Weiss's "I miss you so much." Because she hasn't, like, everyone has left her, well, Ruby and Blake in particular, and she's finally got someone to say, "I missed you so much," and that is a dear friend of hers. I love the reaction. I love this moment. It's one of the most tender moments, and the playing Home in the background just really made this one of the most pleasing episodes I've ever seen. I'm so thankful for this episode. If I have to give this a personal A+ for me. This was something that I was looking forward to. But if there's one episode that should top this, is an episode regarding the history of Team Stark. That's something that should top this. But as of right now, this is probably my favorite episode of the season. Oh god. So I have no idea what the initial schedule is right now. I'm pretty sure this upcoming Saturday will be the first ever World of Remnant for Volume 5. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to be another episode. Maybe they're not doing World of Remnants anymore. That I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But if there is going to be a World of Remnant, then I will probably push my next review episode 3 weeks down the line instead of 2 weeks. But if there isn't a World of Remnant, then it's going to be 2 weeks, okay? And maybe Steven might join me once again for another review. But only time will tell. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please hit like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about these last 4 episodes of Volume 5. What do you think of Volume 5 so far in terms of the plot and action and characters? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. My name is Rach Chetta, and I'll see you later.